I see you shiver in anticipation. Patient.
Oh. Whew. Okay. Gotta finish him off.
And welcome back to another episode of Crips and Corks. I'm your host DJ, here with my co-host
Paul, as usual. And if you're watching on video, you can see we have some very special guests with us, okay? We have the ghouls who haunt Trundle Manor here in Pittsburgh. Probably the coolest people I've met in a very long time. They're my friend and yours. We have Mr. Arm and Velda von Minx, the owners and runners of Trundle Manor here in Pittsburgh.
Hello.
Hi.
I wish we had a soundtrack to play applause to make it seem like we have this live in the audience.
Yes, you guys do deserve applause. We'll give
or like
applause.
a trumpet fanfare or something.
Ooh, like a machine that you turn and the hands go together.
Something like that. No.
I need to come up with that.
Yes, you do.
Welcome.
Thank you guys.
No, we're so glad to have you on. You gave us a tour of Trundle Manor. You had us on the Trundle Cast.
Coming soon.
Actually.
No rush. So glad that you could come and join us now and are much smaller.
Right.
Less manorial?
Yeah, I like manorial.
Yeah,
That's a
less
big
manorial.
word, bitch.
I
don't even know what that means.
I think I made it up. I just added Oriole to manor.
The word worded, I mean.
Okay.
It's in the ether now.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. Tell us about the manor.
Yeah, tell us about Trundle Manor
anything.
yourselves.
Darling?
Well, we run Trundle Manor in Swissvale, PA, Pittsburgh. East of Pittsburgh. I like to describe us as the professional Addams family, basically.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I feel like that kind of gets
5 times
the
a
point across.
week.
I do. Well, we've met a lot of people this weekend. It's been a long weekend.
Yeah.
But we have a collection of... we hate the word oddities because that kind of just feels a bit reductive, and it's been done.
Crypto, taxidermy, things in jars, medical tools, anything a good serial killer should have, I've got on my wall.
Period.
I mean anything. Yeah.
Period. And we just got done covering John Wayne Gacy, so we know a lot, probably too much about things serial killers might have.
H.H. Holmes is our serial killer idol.
Yeah.
One must have a
We're gonna have to
favorite.
cover him.
Okay.
Yes.
That was my first true crime book, Devil
Was
in the
it?
White City.
Yes. Are they ever going to make that stupid movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? I've been hearing about this for like a decade.
I hope so.
Yeah.
He's going to be so old by the time they do that.
But his girlfriend's going to be the same age.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Yes.
So, do you believe in the paranormal?
We always have, but
Oh.
I feel like a lot of the paranormal is afraid of us.
Yeah. We feel like
Yeah.
we're chasing the paranormal. We just want it a little bit too bad, and they're like,
No, I
we're
get that.
leaving you guys alone.
Yeah.
Sadly.
That's kind of badass, though. Like, the paranormal is scared of you. Like, the ghosts and shit are scared of
I
you
do like that.
guys.
Please, we just want to be friends.
Just want me a little. Like, just, come on, move the ball across the floor, please.
Yeah.
Please.
You could always try and entice a fairy with some whiskey and some cake.
That's true.
Well,
I do
we-
like the offering.
We do have a gremlin.
Yes.
Oh.
Tell us about the gremlin at Trundle Manor.
Nigel is his name.
Nigel.
We noticed things not moving, but things would disappear around the house, and it wasn't just drinking, but we would find them in places we would never ever have put them.
Because we don't prank each other.
Yeah, we're not pranksters.
But I was looking for this little box that I keep special trinkets in, like
Okay.
a mini collection box. And I couldn't find it anywhere. I thought I must have lost it when we went somewhere, and it fell out of my pocket or something. Months later, I think,
Yeah,
it was behind a head of lettuce in the fridge.
yeah. In
We
the
don't-
back
oh,
of the
Jesus.
fridge, middle
Yeah.
shelf, towards the back.
We don't do that stuff.
No.
It
And
was
that's so random.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. I took a picture in the fridge and sent it to him. We're like, what the fuck is this? It was so strange. So we made an offering for Nigel. We have a little miniature bird cage. It has a fully functioning miniature parlor, like dollhouse furniture. He's got a satin-lined coffin. He's got Poe and Lovecraft novels with pages that flip. He's got one of those globe bars that opens up. He has absinthe, moonshine, and 18-year-old scotch. So Nigel's been quiet because
He drinks more
drunk.
scotch than I do.
He's
He
ready.
drinks better than
Yes,
us.
he has
so it's fine.
expensive taste. Yeah.
He only needs a thimble.
Oh, yeah. Lasts a lot longer. So, you already talked about the Gremlin. Do you have any other paranormal experiences that you'd like to share with the Corkies?
We do. We don't usually advertise the ghost part of Trundle Manor because we feel like that's profiting off of the dead. Or,
Right.
Feels
someone that
exploitative.
we have to
Yeah.
live with. I already profit off of her. Right?
Oh my god.
I do love when people give me money.
Yeah.
Honestly, same.
Right.
If I could just carry a tip jar around every day with me, just
People would.
Yeah.
People would feel guilty not doing it.
right, exactly.
It's lovely to be an American.
Oh my
Well,
god.
now you have the little tablet everywhere, like 15, 20, 25 other.
Yes.
I like to look them in the eye and hit no tip.
That's brave. I'm too
How
anxious
dare
for
you.
all that.
I had one of those pop up. I was buying some cheap dress the other day, and on their website they said, "You want to leave a tip?" I'm like, "Wow, I'm
No.
buying a dress? What?"
On a website.
Especially online. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Tip you.
Oh my
goodness.
Now, if someone were to go visit Trundle Manor, what would they expect when they come and give your manor a good old tour?
The house has been open to the public for about 15 years, so we've sort of narrowed down how we do a lot of it. And the tours of... we used to, in the very beginning, we'd show sort of the whole house. And there's an episode of MTV Extreme Cribs that we're on.
From 2011.
2011.
Check it out, y'all.
It's still on
Pocket.
YouTube somewhere.
Link.
Yeah.
Link below.
If you look right here, there's a link for it. But it's so strange to see the house back then because it's very empty. And you can actually see the windows
It's way
still.
different.
Which
Oh.
we've covered every single window with cases or something else. I forget where they are half the time. But back then we used to show the whole house because it was so empty. And as we collected more stuff, now we only do the bottom floor.
And I don't want to clean every room every day because that's
Right.
bananas.
Right.
We're artists and creatives, so we are messy a lot. That's
That's
the way it
messy.
is. But the tour is about 45 minutes of showing off all of our cool stuff and talking about how neat we are, which it comes
They
naturally
get
to
a
us.
secret
Yes,
passage. Now they have a little black cat they can pet because he
Oh,
loves
yes.
the tours.
Philip Jeffries.
Was he around when you guys came?
Yes,
to
he
the
Yeah,
was.
yeah, I love your little kitty.
He
He's the best
loved
boy.
I
Paul.
love playing with a puss.
That's not what I hear.
Oh, and
Sorry.
this is why
No.
Paul and I don't have other friends.
No, but we got to tour at Trundle Manor, and it was so fucking cool. Like, that boat in the front yard with the skeleton.
Yeah,
As soon as I pulled
amazing.
up, I was like, yes, this is where I need to be.
It's the Tangerine Death Machine.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool. And, like, when people come, they can also leave offerings to the manor, right?
Absolutely.
Like, they
We
can bring
say-
stuff to add to it.
Bring cash, bring liquor, bring something dead. We've gotten crazy things. We had two separate tours gave us armadillos.
Armadillo.
Yeah.
That's such a random thing for two
Yeah.
separate people.
Yeah, and the one is a big old crooked boner too. So he's
They put
He's
a
having a hard
dowel
time.
rod inside of the penis when they stuffed it.
like, what was this taxidermist up to?
They're all dirty old men, every
That's true.
taxidermist in the world.
But a dowel rod, what were they going to take it out and expect the armadillo penis
I
to...
think it was just because it was a floppy little thing, and they're like,
Like, no, let's make sure he's fully on
Yeah.
display.
We need this armadillo to be fully erect
Yeah.
at all
they
times.
need to fit together. What's
Erect
happening
armadillos
here?
only.
What if they did that just for you guys? They
Oh
said,
my
you know what
God.
Trundle Manor's gonna love?
I love when tours get to see it because people like bring their grandmother, and I'll be like, "Did you think you were gonna see an armadillo penis with your grandma today? This is a service we offer, and you're so welcome."
Honestly, it's educational, you know?
Yeah.
If you're not getting sex education from your school, come to Trundle Manor and get it from the armadillo.
Right.
Get into it.
Not gonna be good.
Now,
Not gonna be good education.
I do have a question for you guys. So what inspires your dress? Because I love the way both of you dress, and you guys look so cool all the time. Like, what
Yes.
inspires your dress and, like, your aesthetic?
Imagine being 705 years old and you have to go through every single decade figuring out what looks best on you. That's what we do.
Okay. So you guys studied every decade and picked what you
We
like.
just
I
lived
mean-
through it all.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Things
You're
are
Right
all
through
gray.
most of it.
So you're vampires, maybe.
I
Maybe
mean,
zombies.
we can't just like out ourselves.
Some kind of
you
undead.
know, some sort of a wraith maybe.
It's okay. It's all jokes.
That's
We're
right.
making jokes.
We love jokes. Also, we watched John Waters cry maybe way too many times as
Oh.
teenagers, and that's also why we look like this.
Love John Waters.
Yes.
Crybaby, The Sopranos.
Yes.
Vampire is my idol, of course. Yeah.
Steampunk was a little thing for a while because I do like wearing vests, but then when you get this belly, you have to go more towards the
old
soprano
Italian man
side.
stereotype.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
my god.
He just got a tracksuit for his birthday. His first one.
Calandria on the front.
I think I
Oh.
saw that on your Facebook, actually. We're not friends officially yet. I was going to send that friend request, but I got nervous. But I was creeping. Don't
No,
worry.
Creep away.
One thing about me is I'm going to creep on your social media. I'm going to look at things. Even when you don't think I'm there, I'm there. I'm kind of
Liking
like...
a picture from 12 years ago. I see you.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, that actually happened though. I'm not gonna name names. It was not me. I get a text message while I'm at work. How do you unlike a video on Facebook?
Oh my god.
I'm like, I don't know. Hit the like button again. I did that. It sent a second like, and I'm like, well, what is it? Is it something like a video from 12 years ago? Worse. It is my ex-boyfriend's wedding
not the
video
ex. Oh.
from his stepdaughter's account.
Oh my
Oh wow,
god.
that's like extra creeping.
a whole
And
other
I
level of
went,
creeping.
That's so deep.
you're screwed. You're screwed. Like, there's no talking your way out of that.
Go to the woods. Be in the woods for a
Yes,
while.
I have a cabin in the woods now. I'm out of society.
You have to be a hermit
Oh.
now. There's no
That's
going
my
back.
dream, honestly. We just did Baba Yaga, and I was like,
Oh,
that's
I
what
love
I
Baba
want to
Yaga.
grow up to be. I want to be a Baba Yaga.
Yes.
Yes.
We were going to make that little shed that's in the front with chicken legs. It was like
I would've
it,
loved
it was it was on the level. I was almost gonna do it. I'm like, I would never be able to use the shed. What am I doing?
Yeah, because we want to be able to like actually put a lawnmower in there.
Yeah.
But the second choice is the witch's shack from Hansel and Gretel. That's gonna have like
Oh.
melty candy and stuff on the
That would
outside.
be cute,
Use
too.
that expanding foam, and then hopefully with the weather, it'll just get more gross
More
looking.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Ooh,
Storybook
love
Forest
that.
or something.
Yes.
Which I think would be fun.
Well,
So many projects.
if I know one thing about you guys, it's that you guys like alcohol as much as we do.
We sure do.
So
Yes.
why don't we get into the paranormal pairing, DJ?
Yes.
We have two options.
We have two options.
For the first time ever on Crips and Corks, we have two options.
So, we are drinking Liberty Creek. This is a Merlot.
Is that because of your going to Gettysburg?
No.
Ooh.
It looks like it came from
Good
there.
promotion.
It kind of
Yeah.
does. Especially, it says right on the front, American.
If you can tell.
Proudly serving America. It's got the stars and stripes right on the front. On the back, it is a proud supporter of Fools of Honor, providing educational scholarships to America's military and first responder families.
Okay.
Okay. There is a reason why I chose this. It was not that this was the biggest bottle in the store.
Well, you have to say it's
Trying to
from...
get under my skin? What's happening?
No. I also like that it could come in red and white. So we've got the Merlot, which is rich notes of dark cherry and blackberry aromas with a smooth finish that is especially pleasing. And it is also a product of the great state of California.
Oh.
Period. Get into California.
Which is another reason why we picked this one.
Oh, you didn't take the wine condom off.
I did not take the
Usually
wine
we
condom.
take the wine condoms off
Yes.
beforehand, so it's not like this weird silence while we're trying to take the wine condoms off.
It kind of works though.
Yeah, and if you don't know, the wine condoms are these things. I guess I should probably
Yeah,
take
I
this one
assume
off.
that's what you meant. When I used to work at a bar, I had to instruct the other bar wenches to how to take the thing
Oh
off.
my
And
gosh, thank
I
you.
said, it's like you're slitting someone's throat. Just hold the bottle like this, take a knife. And you're like, wow, really?
There you are.
Okay, so how do I,
Just get it
Just
up
like-
a little bit.
Help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, if you know, I love this pocket knife. I love a man that has a knife on him at all
Oh, that's good.
times.
I should show you my cake knife. It's a switchblade, but it looks like birthday cake.
Ooh, it's a literal cake knife.
Okay.
I've said that, and now I'm messing this up.
What are you doing?
I was trying to slit its throat.
Don't you hate when you try to slit their throat and it just doesn't work?
Oh my god, so many tries.
It's almost like I've done it before.
There you go.
Period.
Honey, come help me. I can't get this
There
guy's
we
throat
go.
open.
Mr. Arm to the
We
rescue.
just took off the tip. We didn't remove the whole condom.
Well, sometimes I prefer just the tip.
If you'd like to continue to make small talk while I play with my little toy over here.
I love hearing that on the pod. It's very
I
funny
do
to
too.
me.
I couldn't imagine what it looked like. I kept trying to think, like, what is this machine?
Well, it's an automatic wine opener that I got from my ex.
Great.
Hi,
I didn't know
Sonny.
you got it for. Oh,
Yeah, Sonny
no,
got me that.
not calling him out by name.
Oh, well, it's fine. He's fine. He might. I can't say he might be recordable on the pod, but.
That's cool.
Alright, and if you want to open this
Yes,
one.
and pass that down.
Okay.
Paul, if you'd like to do the Oh, I guess I should open this one first.
Yeah, open that one, and then we'll do our ASMR pours. So who wants white and who wants red? And I won't judge you, I promise.
I'll take white.
White,
Okay.
okay.
Started with red, I'll take red.
Red, okay, cool. So,
Two sides.
DJ's done that. So we're gonna give them the ASMR pour.
Oh, we're gonna do a double.
Oh, a double ASMR.
This is the first time?
Oh my
This is the
gosh.
first double pour.
I haven't
Ready?
been double poured in a long time.
1, 2, 3.
My twink arms are shaking.
There you go.
I need to start working out more.
Paul, do you want red or white?
I guess I'll do red because it's over
Okay.
here. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah,
We'll
just
switch.
go- yeah.
I'll take white and you do red. You
Okay.
pour for me and I'll pour for you. And it'll just be a party. We'll switch back and forth.
We were out last night and I kept trying to think of the name of your show and I kept calling it Twinks and Drinks and I know that isn't it, but that's what comes to my head first always and I'm sorry.
That could be your after
Rebranding.
We are now
Wait.
Twinks and Drinks.
Or the after show.
Get into Twinks and Drinks, okay?
I definitely
'Cause that's
underpoured for you, Paul. I'm
so
so
cool.
sorry.
You're welcome.
We're gonna switch. I'll take white, you take
There
red.
you
We're
go.
doing a little switcheroo. And then we'll cheers!
Cheers.
Cheers.
What? Oh, gosh. Scared me.
As I'm spilling on myself.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
very smooth.
yeah. Okay. So we have a ranking system for our pairings here on the podcast. Out of 5 grapes, how many grapes would you give that wine?
I would say like at least a 4. I feel like that's
Okay.
not something that's gonna change my life where I can't stop talking about it, but it is so smooth. I could drink that whole bottle and not feel like I'm drinking the whole bottle.
It's definitely a
I
good
love that.
summertime wine. You
Yes.
drink that when it's warm out and it's chilled. Like, it's a
Breeze
picnic
coming
wine.
through. Yeah, picnic wine, yes.
Oh, I love a good picnic
I'll
wine.
move this in the middle just for easy reach of anyone else.
Now, Mr. Arm, how many grapes are you giving it?
I'm going to give it 3. It has a behind the taste of metal, which is odd. But I'm sure it'll get me there, so at least 3.
Hey,
That's the job.
as long as you're feeling something after.
We will.
Paul, would you like to go next?
Sure, I am going to agree. I'm going to give this 4 grapes. It's a really great wine. Like you said, it goes down easy, super smooth and everything. I would definitely get this again. And for the price point, well, cheap, but it's good
It was
for
not
how cheap it
intentional.
was.
We love you. Listen.
We agonized. I'm gonna give it a 4 1/4.
Oh,
Yes.
fancy. Okay.
Because it will get me there. I could drink the entire bottle without realizing, and I'm not getting the metal aftertaste. I'm just getting like the cherry foretaste.
It tastes like I'm drinking part of a hospital.
Is that good?
But I feel like you might like that.
Yeah, like, is this a compliment or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Why-
I'm not getting the
No.
hospital taste. No.
Now, one thing I
Have a
will say
weird
too
nose. Very strong. Sorry.
is I know I'm gonna be hungover from this wine. Like, this
Yeah.
wine is so sugary. This is a hangover wine,
Oh,
so
Oh yeah.
you gotta make sure you're not doing anything the
I
next
think that's
day.
why I like it. All the sugar.
I'm already hot in the face.
Well,
that much
He's
of it
gonna
already.
suffer on the ride home.
Well, the lights are pretty. The lights make it a lot warmer in here for
Yeah.
Oh no, his
sure.
blood pressure is fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
God.
It's from the booze.
Oh well.
I might haunt this place. We'll see what
Oh,
Please do.
jeez! It might be.
Are you
We
open to new
somewhere have a
hauntings?
haunted Furby.
Do you?
Fun.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, yep, he's our podcast
Jeremy.
mascot.
Well,
He's
he's pre-haunted.
Oh, he came pre-haunted.
Yeah.
No, he's like pre-haunted. Like he's not haunted yet.
Oh,
Not
oh,
yet. We did take him to Gettysburg with us. We're not sure if anything attached itself while we were in Gettysburg.
Buy your tickets to find out.
Yes, come to our live show next month, June 21st, Saturday. Get your tickets, come on out, see the Dolls and the Divas live. We have a lot of crazy things planned for that show, so definitely what you're going to see. Sorry, we had to do a little ad break
Do the
there.
ad
A little
break.
spontaneous
Yes.
ad break.
Just heard about one of the haunted dolls that the owners of it brought a replica of the haunted doll and said, "Hey, we're going to a parade and we want to take you, the actual doll.
Right.
If you want, you can jump into this for now and then you can come back."
This is Robert.
Robert,
Yeah.
yeah, they were talking about that on
Oh,
last
Robert.
podcast.
Yeah, that's where we heard it.
You were listening to Side Stories.
Yes, we were. We love those guys.
Oh,
I'm trying to
yes.
silently not say that,
Oh,
but that's
well.
fine. Whatever.
They get a free
I thought that
promo.
was so neat. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
can come and hang out for a little bit and
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
that's
go
a
back
great
to your
concept.
body. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that they're being nice to Robert because I feel like when he is causing things. They put negative energy in there. Like, be nice to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Robert
I
deserves
love
that.
Robert.
integrity.
I think Robert's adorable.
Yes, I do too.
I want to get... I was going to do it to Paul right after we covered it. I was going to get one of the full-size replicas.
Yeah.
But I was going to have it delivered here to Paul's house without telling him so
Oh
that
my
he would
God.
just get it and he would open it and there would be Robert the doll.
That would be amazing.
Okay, that would be spooky. If I wasn't expecting it and I just got a random Robert the doll.
But then I would have to hide a hidden camera somewhere in your house so that I could then
Get the
monetize it.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It's
you're
gonna spoil it, but what you really need to do is find an old crate that fits in perfectly, tie a slightly stained, derelict cotton bow around it, but have someone else deliver it to the porch while you're here.
Oh.
But you should get a delivery man that has like a 1950s delivery man
And a
uniform
glass
on, a little
eye.
matching cap, so like super spooky, like just came out of some other dimension here.
I'm just crazy enough to make this happen.
It would be
I
fun.
think it needs
I'm going to have to wait well, not a year. I'm going to have to wait a month until Paul forgets about this conversation.
Oh my god.
Just keep them drinking tonight. He'll forget about it.
That's true. That's true. Honestly, I do have a short attention span. It's a problem sometimes.
All right. Well, the jacket's coming off. This happens every time. I like wear a jacket to be cute on the podcast. I make it through the intro and then I'm like, go to start the story. And it's like, it's gotta come off
It's
now.
those hot
That
studio
looks like a
lights.
very
Exactly. The studio lights
It
are
is.
hotter than you
It's
think.
a
Yeah.
winter jacket. It's like a men's
It felt
boot
like
play.
Jackie Kennedy kind of
It's,
look.
yes, it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
Jackie Kennedy.
Oh, don't get him
That's
started
okay.
on Jackie.
My past life. All right.
He
Well,
was
folks,
Jackie Kennedy in a past life.
Let me tell you a story.
Please.
Let's get into it.
In the opening days of World War II, as Americans lived in constant fear of a Japanese invasion, something unexplainable took hold of the skies over Los Angeles. For roughly an hour, the United States military waged a battle against the unidentified thing before being ordered to stand down for causing a panic. What followed was a cover-up, reaching to the very highest echelons of the government. Was this a blunder caused by paranoia, or was it a close encounter of the second kind? Today, let's discuss the Battle of Los Angeles.
Ooh.
I don't know this one. Do you?
Have you?
Is this like flying saucers over Hollywood kind of thing?
It
like,
is very that.
Is it very Ed Wood coded? Because I feel like...
It's. I mean, the concept is very Ed Wood.
Okay.
The execution was not. It was like. It was more like Jerry Bruckheimer.
Okay.
Ooh. And
Inside it.
honestly, I thought the Battle of Los Angeles was just the Ozempic shortage a little bit ago. So this,
You would think.
this is all new to me, you know? And also, Close Encounters of the Second Kind. I had a close encounter of the fourth kind last night, and I'm hoping the pill clears it up soon.
I did have to look up what. I didn't want to just say Close Encounter of the Third Kind because there is an actual ranking system. And this did not classify as a third kind, so we had to drop it down to a second.
So
Okay.
it is
What are
third.
the rankings?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, do you think?
I was just about to ask
Yeah.
that. We have the same question. What are the
What is
rankings, DJ? What's going on?
Hard to have four people.
I'm so glad
Right.
you asked because I definitely have it in my notes.
Oh, look, you have the page pulled up and everything.
I do. I
So
do.
He's just checking his email for a little bit, and then he'll tell you.
There's a
So there are 6 rankings. The first and like the least interesting is called Nocturnal Lights, and it's lights in the night sky. The second is Daylight Discs, which is UFOs being seen in the daytime, usually ovular or spherical in shape. The third ranking is a radar visual, which is where they see the UFO on radar.
Okay.
And this is where it starts to sound a little more familiar. The fourth ranking is Close Encounters of the First Kind, which is where you see visual sightings of an unidentified flying object seemingly less than 500 feet away that show an appreciable angular extension in considerable detail. So technically, I think this was a first kind, so I even fucked it up.
Okay,
You went the wrong
awesome.
direction, that's all, yeah.
The fifth is a Close Encounter of the Second Kind. It is a UFO event in which a physical effect is alleged. This can be interference in the functioning of a vehicle or electronic device, animals reacting a physiological effect such as paralysis or heat and discomfort in the witness, or some physical trace like impressions of the ground, scorched or otherwise affected vegetation, or a chemical trace.
People always think that it's radiation, but it's actually vibrations that cause all the ill wills from UFOs.
Oh.
Did
Really?
not know that. Mm-hmm.
So, wait, so you're into UFOs then?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Love UFOs.
So you've done a lot of research then, I take it.
By research, you mean just sat around and thought about it a month? Yeah. I've done as much research as those other goofballs.
I've watched
Yeah,
as
yeah.
many B movies from the 50s as I can, and that's research.
Oh my gosh.
There might be something behind that. And then, of course, the most famous Close Encounters of the Third Kind. UFO encounters in which an animated entity is present. These include humanoids, robots, and humans who seem to be occupants or pilots of said UFO.
Now, I have to
Animated.
know, before
Is
we
it
get
stop
into
motion
it,
or?
I hope so.
now, have you guys ever had any alien encounters or anything like that?
We
Oh.
definitely have. Yeah.
Oh, tell us about it.
My first one that I had, it wasn't alien, but it was UFO. The first one that I had was in where did me and Mom and Dad go for in the woods?
Canaan? State Park?
Okay.
But in the off season, it's a ski place. But in the off season, they rent it, and then it's just pretty, whatever. But I remember being a little kid and watching this star travel along the sky, and then just zip back the other direction, like immediately. And it was just a star, you know, it wasn't a UFO. But there's nothing that can do that that
No.
isn't some propulsion of some sort.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I vividly remember that thing.
Right.
And then we just saw evidence of UFO in Erie.
Last summer, we were at Geneva on the lake at our friend's place, and we were laying on the beach. It was all completely dark, but it looked like it was a light that was behind some clouds.
It looked like a spotlight.
Yeah, but it kept moving back and forth rhythmically for like half of an hour. We kept looking at. We tried to take pictures. Of course, they never take
Yeah.
every single UFO photo ever.
Right.
You know, we thought that that would just be a spotlight because it sort of looked like that, but there was no beam coming from the ground.
Yeah.
So it was coming from behind the clouds.
Yeah.
Which was very strange. And then later on, we
From, like,
watched
the middle
it.
of the lake, I guess.
It went like all the way back to the other side, and then there were some ground lights coming up. Like someone with a flashlight, a real strong one, was trying to.
And I said it's definitely some CIA person that has their kid with like a flashlight that's like, all right, you got to discredit everyone that just saw this. Like,
Yeah.
wave your shit around and make it look like it's all fake.
Or alternatively, apparently you can, like, if the UFO is flashing lights, if you have a high-powered enough flashlight and you can flash it back, if you do like 1, 2, 3, it will flash back 1, 2, 3 in the same pattern.
Ooh.
That's
I wish we had a
crazy.
flashlight. That's really
Pulled
crazy.
out of nowhere. Or... Where's your research from? Oh no! Please don't probe. That would be a terrible way to probe a penis.
Oh no.
Just gonna throw that out.
Yes,
there.
it would
Automatic
be.
That's a word.
That is from John Keel's The Mothman Prophecies.
Is it?
Oh,
He
okay.
did that.
You know, they made that movie, and the main actor. I went to the zoo with him.
Really?
Yeah. No, the other guy. It was the other guy.
I never saw Mothman Prophecies,
Anyways.
to be honest.
Not Richard. I wish.
Are you a child?
Because the guy that I know, or that I went with, I didn't know who the hell he was.
Yeah.
He was just some actor. But
Are you okay? You
Jan's-
going to the zoo with
No,
random adults
Jan.
you don't know? Oh, okay.
Trust me, nothing's repressed in my mind. I have all the scars well opened up. It's fine. But yeah, I went to the zoo with that guy.
Okay.
I forget his name, but
It was filmed in Pittsburgh.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was an odd time
That's crazy.
in my life.
How did that even come about? Like, you just met him and you're like,
my
zip.
parents' neighbor Jan was from New York, and her dad was a art teacher at a prestigious college, and so she knew all these people, and I guess she was one of his friends or her friends, and I don't know. She said, "Hey, you want to go to the zoo with us?" I think it was so that they didn't mess around together. Like I was the buffer.
Oh,
I was
the chaperone.
Yeah.
These
I
games.
think
Wow.
so. I mean, I was in my late teens, I think.
Okay, so
probably.
you were a little hot greaser.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh,
Weird times.
interesting.
Okay.
Just an
Okay.
odd connection.
So.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. This is what we do all the
We've got
time.
nothing but tangents for
Yeah.
days.
This is prime content. We're here for this. I'm here for this.
Little bit of backstory. In the early morning hours of December 7th, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy conducted a surprise attack at the United States Navy's base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The attack was a preemptive strike at the very heart of the Pacific Fleet to prevent America from interfering in Japan's plans to expand through the southeast in a quest to get oil. It's always about oil.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Resources.
The attack commenced at 7:48 a.m. on a Sunday morning when many of the Navy personnel were either still in bed or just preparing for the day. And the attack destroyed 18 ships, including the entire battleship fleet, and killed 2,403 Americans in the span of 90 minutes. The attack occurred before a state of war existed between Japan and the United States, as Japan's notice of the attack did not arrive until half an hour after the attack began, when it was supposed to be delivered half an hour before.
That's a lot of information, girl.
You know, I zoned out about halfway through because I guess I didn't realize that Pearl Harbor was in Hawaii. Why did I not ever know that?
I don't know, yeah.
Right.
American
Never
soil,
once-
but it's Hawaii. Yeah.
Never once thought
And you
about
know
it.
what? I don't think it has anything to do with pearls either.
No, why did they even call it that?
Right? Like, what's going on?
Barnacle Harbor doesn't sound as nice.
Ew, I don't want to go there at all.
The following day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who will come up time and time again in the story, called on Congress to declare war on Japan, which it did within an hour. 3 days later, Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy declared war on the United States, and America had joined the Allied forces in World War II. As they famously said in the movie Pearl Harbor, I think World War II just started.
Oh my gosh.
It's best that I never saw that movie.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
just
seen
wanted
that
to
movie.
hear it from your lips. That was well done.
The rest of the
Thank
film
you.
better live up to that.
Yeah.
Trust me, it does not. It is.
It does not.
It is 3 hours long.
Ugh.
2 of it is exposition.
Oh, Lord.
10 of it is Pearl Harbor.
Did you watch it for this?
No,
Okay.
no, I watched it years
Wow.
ago.
That's a grandpa picture.
Yeah, that's a grandpa picture. What are you doing?
I watched it with my grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
No.
Good call. Yeah. All right.
Don't worry, guys. This part of the podcast is what I like to call DJ's History Corner, or History Hour, if you will.
I'm doing my
You
best to.
We'll get through it.
Do you want to
Don't
put the
worry.
intertitle in here?
Oh, yeah.
You have the intertitle that you made up?
Yeah. I still have the DJ's History Hour title I can put in. But we'll get to the spooky shit soon,
Yes,
I
it's
promise.
coming up. It's coming up.
I'm trying to derail him as much as I can. It's just he keeps going back to it.
Oh, I am like a dog with a bone.
Now you know my struggle.
Paul tries really hard too.
Honestly, starting a paranormal podcast, I never realized how much history you have to know for this shit. It's crazy.
It really helps to understand what's going on. Yeah.
We just
It's
got
the
contacted by another paranormal investigating team. They're all young kids and stuff, but
Yeah, they are.
and I didn't want to give them the time of day, but then I did try to watch one of his first videos, and they actually seem like they're doing research on it too,
Oh.
which like a
I
lot of them are
appreciate
just like, "Hey, ghost," you know. Which,
Oh, my God.
Zach
That
Baggins
sucks.
school.
Yeah.
There's Zach Baggins in.
There's
Yes.
there's no history, there's no information, so I like the history stuff. I think that it shows that you actually give a shit about what you're putting out there. You know, and hell, that's probably the only way these kids are getting any history lessons at all.
Yeah.
Probably.
This kind of
That's,
stuff, you know,
most of my
so.
history comes from last podcast on the left.
Yep.
Same.
Honestly, that's how I know
Yeah.
about a ton of shit.
And trust me, Paul then filters it down to me.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Over the coming weeks, paranormal reigned as the United States geared up for war, afraid its enemies would conduct another sneak attack or an invasion of mainland United States.
Body snatchers.
Yes. They
Saw
got
that
close.
one.
Cities up and down the Pacific coast were especially on guard, with mandatory blackouts and curfews being placed into effect. Fun fact, an army battalion even took over Walt Disney Studios to defend it against an oncoming invasion so it could continue to provide moral-boosting cartoons throughout the coming war.
Wow.
That's why there's so many war cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
See, Disney
okay.
first.
They
That's
were,
crazy.
Nazi Germany had Joseph Goebbels.
Yeah.
United States had
Walt Disney.
His good buddy Walt Disney.
Oh, I am a Disney adult, and so many of my fellow people probably
I
just...
have to leave now.
I say it very tongue-in-cheek.
Okay.
Paul loves saying that I'm a Disney adult.
He very much is a Disney adult. But going back a little
At
bit.
least you don't dress like one.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure Walt Disney was an anti-Semite as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that correlation is, like, pretty interesting between Nazi Germany and Walt Disney.
I used to, fun fact, work for a costume store. They got in trouble for renting Disney mascots that were not properly licensed, and Disney sued them and said they had to all be sent to Florida and incinerated in their copyright fraud oven. So yeah, I think he was taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was eye-opening.
But also, Copyright Fraud Oven is kind of... That's a great band name.
Copyright fraud oven?
Yeah.
Okay,
If
that
there
would
was,
be
like,
banger.
a
I'd
plaque
listen.
that said that on the oven. That would be an amazing piece
Yes.
of memorabilia.
Ooh.
Something like that.
So, if you go down to Florida, like all around Disney World, you can go into these thrift stores where it's so much Walt Disney Parks and Resorts
man,
not
wow.
merchandise.
Like the people that work there kind of stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
like props and things that
Wow.
like the park
That's kinda
goes to throw away and somebody pilfers it and they sell it and people go and they buy this shit and they have like parts of the park in their home and they have like shrines. I do not have a shrine.
Okay.
This is the
Sure.
only shrine I have, and it is a shrine to myself.
Is that what's behind the black curtain here? Is
Ooh,
all
hiding
your
your
Disney
Disney shrine from
memorabilia
us?
that we're not allowed to see?
Kind of, and very cartoon-esque because I don't want you to see it. If you did lift the curtain up, it's a brick wall.
Wow, that is perfectly Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Well, you have to paint a
tunnel.
tunnel onto it then. If it's a brick
Paul, do you
wall.
still have your black nail polish? I might be here for a while.
We could make it happen.
You want me to read anything too,
I will let you know.
because I can't interrupt myself.
Contributing to the paranoia was the sinking of multiple American merchant ships along the west coast by Japanese submarines, making the people in the mainland ever fearful that they were soon to be the next targets. All this to say, people are pretty fucking paranoid. Whether rightly or wrongly.
What
They
if their
were.
air conditioner might be taken out of their window and somebody breaks it?
Oh my
In
god.
the middle of the night. People can be paranoid.
You know, wait, I have
an
that
inside
exact
joke.
story in my notes.
Yeah.
I keep going to say my windshield wipers. And I don't know why.
Oh my
I think you're
god.
just getting drunk from osmosis. I mean, you just do that.
We have that effect on people
Yeah.
drunk by osmosis.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that to people. Make life a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I would.
On the night.
Oh my gosh.
Just pick it right back up. I think I had 3 heart attacks there. That was fun. Remind me not to laugh again.
Oh my gosh.
On the night of February 23rd, 1942, while President Roosevelt was giving one of his famous fireside chats, a Japanese submarine surfaced and fired on an oil field in Santa Barbara, California. They didn't do this very smart because have you ever seen a submarine?
Mm-hmm.
They're fairly small. Well, back then they were.
The history, or the science center has one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now takes that, the USS Requin, and like downsize it by like a third.
Oh, little guys.
They're very little. Like
They
it's
all had like a
amazing.
size 30 waist back then. They're all okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And so it's on the waves
We're
and
talking to 2 tiny men. They already have.
Think so?
At the most,
Thank
30
you.
That's
oh my
like-
He used
god.
to. I'll show you pictures
I used to have
later.
a 28 waist at some point.
I know they're
Jealous.
we just
Sorry. I
while we were in
interrupted the hell out of you.
Gettysburg, we went and got our pictures taken in Civil War garb, and the guy was a reenactor, and he goes, "I love this. I never get people in here who are the correct size to
Oh
be
my
Civil
God.
War soldiers."
I bet it's
And I
fun,
went,
yeah.
"So you think I'm?" And he was like, "Yeah," because they were all
Right.
sick and like starving. I was like, "So you think I'm skinny?"
Honestly, made our trip.
Yes.
That's a good
I bet
compliment.
they get a lot of big
Yeah.
old Midwesterners coming in. Yeah.
She can't
Yeah.
buy old clothing because every woman
Size
in the world
10
is
shoe.
teeny
Where
weeny.
did the drag queens buy shoes in the 50s? That's what I need.
Right. What were the cross-dressers doing? Which,
Where
I'm
did
not
I
sure
buy?
if
Yeah.
I know. What were the girls and the dolls doing back then?
I gotta know.
But anyways, teeny tiny submarine. Have you ever been to the Pacific? Big waves.
Is that the one by California?
Yes.
No.
So it's trying to fire bullets, but every time a wave comes over, it just boop, like on a surfboard.
So it's always missing.
It's always missing, and like at first, like they heard there was a skeleton crew there. They also chose to do this in the middle of the night when nobody's there, for maximum fear. Everyone's like, "Did you hear that? I think the pipes are acting up," or they thought it was an internal explosion because they worked in an oil field.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal. It wasn't until there was a motel across the street that got hit by a stray bullet, the owner was serving dinner and it like went right over his head. And he called the police and he said, "I'm looking at a Japanese submarine that's shooting bullets at my motel."
I have a lot of questions.
The Santa Barbara
I
police.
hope they framed where that bullet landed, because that's neat.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
I did not do that research. The Santa Barbara police said, "Don't worry, the Air Force is on its way."
How did they know
What
it
a
was a
time to be
Japanese
alive.
submarine?
We're going to go with the design was different and perhaps it was flying a Japanese flag.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, the
Submarines
flags.
aren't flying
The flag will give it away.
flags.
It
Get all wet.
It had Japan. It had.
It would get wet.
Yeah, all right.
I
Got him.
I can't go on
I'm
a.
so sorry.
I can't go on a rabbit hole to see
not.
what Japanese submarines looked like in World War II because I will come out of it. I found the blueprints for Hitler's bunker.
Just see the red string straight across the wall.
Yes,
with all
Charlie
the
Kelly
pictures.
design.
Yes, it would be that.
You guys like It's Always
I
Sunny?
love It's
Heck
Always
yeah.
Sunny.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is one of my favorite shows.
Some of the best humor in the world because it's so mean.
Yes, the genre is just assholes being
and they're
assholes
just
to each
mean
other.
to each other. It's great. I love it.
It's
I always
so
tell my
good.
girlfriends, you have to watch it because like they love that kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that Danny DeVito is the Penguin and Frank Reynolds is just the Penguin but more elderly and more
Yes.
drunk. We love it so much.
Yes.
One of my heroes is the Penguin, and in every role, even the new one that he's Italian, and I'm like, oh, I guess they just keep watching me. They keep making the Penguin more like me
We're
in
vain
different
and
ways.
delusional every time I watch television. What we do
No.
to
DeVito,
shadows is
I think
about
was the
us.
best Penguin.
He was.
Great.
Yeah,
DeVito was amazing.
Yes, it was masterclass.
What's this
And
podcast about again? I forget.
Right. What am I
What am I
doing?
doing?
Anyways,
Yeah.
so Joe from Joe's Motel. That was literally its name, and literally his name. Santa Barbara police say, "Don't worry, the Air Force is on its way."
How do
Joe-
the police know that?
They make
Fuck, why do I keep doing this to him?
No,
I'll tell you
Tell
why.
the damn story.
I'll tell you why.
Maybe we need to switch seats.
I'll tell you why the Santa Barbara police said that. Because Joe watched as the Japanese submarine, they put the gun away, they orderly got back into the submarine, and they sailed away. And he's like, "Where's the Air Force?"
Oh my god.
All night, where's the Air Force? The Santa Barbara police just lied.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, okay, straight up lied.
Of course.
I see it.
And so when this gets reported in the news, it's like, oh great, so the military's was not prepared for Pearl Harbor. 2,500 Americans died.
Wow. They never want you to know when they're not prepared. But it happens a lot, I imagine.
They're not prepared here. This oil field is on fire. Actually, it wasn't damaged that bad. It only resulted in $500 worth of property damage.
Oh.
Jesus.
Which, in 2024 dollars is $9,000, but
Meh.
when you're talking about a military oil field,
That's how much I owe on credit cards.
Right, exactly.
Negligible.
That's nothing.
That's a
it's
drop,
a drop in the
bucket.
bucket. I mean, in with our defense budget,
Right, that's just a few quick handies.
I'll get it. You want
Now,
one?
they'll have to be good handies, but... Oh yes, pour as much
Yeah,
wine as you
please,
want.
help
Drink
yourselves.
it, bro.
Thank you for bringing the biggest
didn't
ones.
ask.
And you don't need to. This is a free for all.
the following day, on February
Love, love,
24th,
Sorry.
1942, the Office of Naval Intelligence issued a warning to all of mainland California, which I didn't know that there was a coastland or an island of California.
Is it
Yeah,
like
well-
right off the beach? Or
I think it's
something?
Catalina, but
Oh.
Fucking Catalina
Catalina
wine
wine mixer.
Oh, sorry.
What's that?
It's from Step
Oh.
Brothers.
Oh, okay.
When we got together, I made her watch that movie, I think, 10 times.
So many fucking times.
Because it was so funny to me.
It's hilarious.
I couldn't stop watching it.
oh, it's hilarious.
Doesn't,
I loved it so
in
much.
that movie, doesn't he put it use his dick as a drumstick?
I'm
to,
gonna put my
stick-
nutsack on your drum kit.
Yeah, they show a weird fake nutsack. It's very funny.
It's
I'm gonna put my
a
nutsack
prosthetic.
on your drum
It's
set.
gruesome.
It's something else.
I
mean,
will say.
it's the relationship between the two people that made that movie.
Yes.
Oh.
Will Ferrell and what's his name?
John C. Reilly. Those
Yeah.
are two that cannot sit next to each other because they will just be chaos. Like,
Yes.
must separate you two.
It's very fun. Anyway, sorry.
Where was I? The Office of Naval Intelligence issued a warning to all of mainland California, and I suppose Catalina for the wine mixer, that a Japanese attack was expected within hours. And that it was probably going to be an invasion. Don't want to stoke panic, but it's probably an invasion.
Maybe.
But don't worry, The Air Force is on the way.
America's very big. It would be really hard
We're
to
big as
actually
hell.
take us over.
Like
wide, you know?
Yes, I don't think okay, and I forgot to say this because I didn't have this in my notes.
I've just never thought about it, and I thought about it because you said that.
I mean, it was more like fragmented.
Okay.
Like, oh look,
What
we got a
did they
spot.
think they were doing?
So, the commander of the submarine,
Okay.
when he did that, like, they interviewed him later, and they said, like, what was the point? Like, you didn't hit anything major, you didn't harm anyone. And he goes, I just wanted to freak him out.
I love
He said
that.
that was my goal. I wanted to scare them. I wanted them to make them think
Yeah.
something's going to happen. It was just psychological warfare.
Wow.
It's pretty good. I
Just wanna
mean,
freak
I'm here
I
for
get
that.
it.
That's
I
pretty
respect
I'm sure
that.
he said it much more eloquently than that, but on this podcast, history is fun.
I just
wanted
imagine
to
him
freak them out.
swirling-
Yeah.
That's what I just want to freak them out.
He's drinking the sake, like,
Uh-huh.
sitting across from,
Like
who
this
was
He's got
out.
a tap in his corners.
Yeah, I just wanted to freak you out.
So they caught the guy and did interviews and interrogations of him?
He survived, obviously. and
America didn't kill the balls out of that guy?
Yeah, jeez.
Wow.
after this, he sailed back to Japan.
That's wild.
I mean,
That feels really far away.
it is. I think they had to stop multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
For road trip snacks.
Exactly.
They had to go to Sheets.
But that was the
The
other reason
sheep
why Japan did want to conquer the southeast was if they could get these islands, they could have refueling and restocking supplies so that they could eventually try to invade the west coast of America, possibly.
This is Japan, and this entire table is the United States.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Freaking him out.
It was a weird time.
At 7:18
Fuck, we're not done
p.m.
yet.
We haven't even got to the UFOs yet.
Zero aliens yet.
Okay, DJ, power through this history
No,
bullshit.
I love it. I'm having fun.
This is the last history thing before the attack.
I want to give you guys a really hard thing to fucking edit because there's a lot to cut out of this.
Oh, I'm an
Great, I
expert.
love
Bring
it.
it.
Paul's gonna have fun this week. At 7:18 p.m., an alert was called throughout the state. It was a blackout drill. Haha. A blackout drill was called throughout the state and rescinded at 10:23 p.m., leaving California residents to go to sleep for the night in hopes that they would not be in any harm. But in Los Angeles County, all was not over. At 2:25 a.m., an object was spotted on radar. Air raid signs began to go off throughout the city and county, warning citizens to get to safety. Radar technicians watched in stupefaction as the object would slow to a near halt before shooting off at high speeds and jumping and dropping to different altitudes suddenly before it just disappeared from the radar screens altogether. At 3:16 a.m., something silver was spotted in the sky over Culver City, and the 37th Coast Artillery Brigade began to fire 12-inch anti-aircraft shells at the object to no effect. The night came alive as guns fired and air raid wardens scrambled with their searchlights to detect the silver craft as it zigged and zagged through the night sky. No conventional airplane could have dodged the lights and bullets like this craft did. Eyewitness reports from the night of the battle describe the sky filled with hundreds, if not thousands, of these silver crafts, none of which apparently were shot down, and few of which could be followed by the searchlights for any meaningful amount of time. The battle continued for a full hour, with 1,430 shells fired into the sky until the guns were ordered to stop firing, and soldiers noted an empty night sky, with no Japanese airplanes overhead, and no Japanese ships off the coast have carried them.
Foo Fighters.
We're
Is
gonna
that
get
what it
into
was?
we're
I'm
gonna
sorry.
get into Foo Fighters.
That's what it was, though, right?
The band? Isn't that a band?
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna
think they're
get.
named after this.
No, I'm laughing at Paul
Oh.
saying the band.
If I keep holding in things to say, I'm gonna immediately black out.
No, please say them.
Blood pressure.
But we are gonna get into
Yes. My
We're
gonna
nose
have
just
a
starts
mental.
bleeding. You know.
We're gonna get into
Go ahead,
Foo Fighters.
DJ. Keep talking. It's fine.
Sometimes I do feel like that. When I'm sitting through these history episodes, I'm like,
The only reason that we have a podcast is because I need to talk. That's all that it is.
hey.
Please interrupt me.
Bloviation is what you call it. That's the only word for what you do.
Bloviation. Yeah. It's very important.
Where was I?
Fucking hates me.
No.
Can't stand
Oh,
me.
anyway.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure he hates me too.
No, I just like. I gotta get to the end sometime.
No, it's getting so good.
Yeah, no
should.
airplanes, no ships.
Okay.
Several buildings were damaged in the battle, and 5 civilians died. 3 in car crashes during the chaos, and 2 from heart attacks from the shock.
Can't
Wow.
blame that on UFOs.
Yeah.
These people are just weak.
Hammered behind the wheel. Okay, aliens
Weak.
did it. Sure.
It was 1940. Of course they were hammered behind the wheel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm drunk and filled with bacon. I died. Aliens
It was
killed
Japanese.
me.
Just being racist.
Do
Yeah.
you two watch? Have you ever seen Ghosts on CBS?
Yes,
Did
the
you
UK
ever
and
see
the
the
US.
UK one?
I want to.
Better.
I can imagine.
They're
The
both
American
really
one's
good.
good, but the UK one.
But the American one, I love that they just introduced that 1940s ghost, and she has the
The black
flask.
lady, right? The bigger
No,
lady?
she's
that's
the
20s.
she's
Oh,
the
that's
20s. They
okay.
just she's like she can walk around like the one with the arrow through his neck.
Okay.
Okay. We gotta
And
catch up.
she has
No, I didn't know they were still making that.
Oh, yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
but she has a flask,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Please let me take a sip off your flask." And she's like, I just wish I had died with a pack of cigarettes. Unfortunately, I just finished my third pack for the day when I died.
Everything must have smelled like thick ass cigarette smoke in the 40s. The whole 40s probably smelled like
I will smoke
Probably.
cigars with friends in the parlor sometimes, and it takes forever to get rid of that.
That's the worst
It
when
might
you're
still
hungover and it
be
just
there.
stinks of old cigar.
It's like an old bar that's falling apart. Well, that's our
But
house,
no,
I guess,
everyone-
to some extent, but
I always asked my grandmother because she was like an insurance executive, but like she was going to executive meetings like in the 60s and 70s when men were the only other people in the room.
Yeah.
I was like,
what is this, secretary?
I was
What are you
like-
doing here?
I was like, did you drink during the meetings? And she goes, no, but I did take up smoking to fit in.
Yeah, that's what you had to do. The Mad Men era of all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
I mean,
very the
that-
man of it all.
I think that was a good cultural thing that they did was make the Mad Men show because it really did show like how little you had to work to make tons of
The
money.
most mediocre
Yes.
motherfuckers.
And you,
Oh my
you
God.
never really get drunk at work because you're not doing much. I mean, hell, they all had couches in their offices because
Offices.
they
Oh,
were
they used
tired
them.
Yes.
and hungover.
Yeah.
Also,
I have to pretend I'm not hungover
What
when
is
I go to
it?
work. It's not fun.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel,
Oh, yeah.
where she's working as the writer for the comedy show.
Yeah.
And she walks in the day after the show, and everyone's hungover,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Hair of the dog, hair of the dog,
Yes.
make it a double, Mary, double hair of the dog." Midge, you want a hair of the dog?
your
No, just
medicine.
coffee. You feeling all right?
Man, we miss booze culture. We're trying to bring it back.
It's tough.
Right.
I mean, it is hard. I did go to the doctor after having a binge drinking, and he scheduled me to have my liver looked at by a MRI machine. I'm like, all right, fine. I guess I'm dying. So that was the most sober I've been in
We
the
spent 10 whole
past,
days.
I don't know,
Oh.
10
Yeah.
years or so.
Yeah.
15 years. And then he didn't call me back.
Lovely.
And I had to like read on the little app
Mm.
All the
what
weird
any of
little
the
letters
little
and
medical
numbers they
things
give you.
meant. And
Doctor speak.
since he didn't call me, I'm not dying, so I'm gonna get wine.
Yeah. Refill.
Oh yeah. Honestly, if it was that serious, you're right. They would call.
They would call you.
Yeah, they call the next day and be like, I'm sorry, are you sitting down?
Right.
Anyway, where are we?
That's a good question. Where are we, DJ? What are we doing?
Here we are.
Are these lights in the
Drinks
sky?
and
Are they
drinks and
aliens?
corks and,
Well, let's discuss that.
Okay.
Who or what? No, why am I reading? Why am I reading?
the page. Do you want me to read it?
No, I'm just questioning. Why am I reading the transition? I need transitions for like when me and Paul are here.
Oh,
You
you're
asked
coming
me-
out? You're
Huh?
trans?
Stop
Do
it.
you want to borrow my shoes? They're big.
I have my own. I do have my own high heels in the other room.
Yeah.
And as Paul was going out to like greet you, I was like, "Are you wearing shoes? Do I have to put my shoes on?" He's like, "No, I'm just going in my socks." And I was like, "Then I will stay in my socks too."
I'd say I was a bit put off that you guys don't have shoes, and I felt bad that we do, but you have the cutest little socks on.
You do
so it's
really
okay.
cute little socks, to be honest.
Thank you. And they're Vans too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I should get this for when I'm in heels.
Walks right there.
I would have to
Let's
take.
do 'em in
I would have to take these off if I put the heels on. I do have heel specific socks though.
Do you?
Mhm.
They hide in the heel
Failing
kind
is
of
a
Yes.
heel word,
So because androgyny, yay.
Yeah.
So I wear
The heels
like
are hot on dudes sometimes.
sometimes
Yes.
they are.
Yes.
I do wear.
That's what I'm saying.
I wear heels. I rock a pump. But I also will like wear a ballet flat or like a moccasin penny loafer. And I hate the look of socks. It's not my thing. Paul loves a fun sock. It's not my
All
thing.
my socks are Halloween socks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'm here for that.
exploded my ankle once, so it's just this great. My ankle is insane looking, so I love socks.
Okay.
I my exploded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anton will wear
It's pretty
socks
good.
with sock
Yeah.
garters, and even if there's no other garments, he at least has that. He has like the cartoon dad
think
sock garters.
Our
I
best-
love that. The U.S. government was quick to blame the incident on paranoia and cited it as a false alarm. But however, like the U.S. government, nobody could get the story straight. The U.S. government is the epitome of let's get one thing straight and three things gay. I'm looking at you, Lindsey Graham, and your ladybugs.
I was gonna say J. Edgar Hoover, but that's an older
I was
reference.
thinking of Mimi. Mimi.
Maybe.
Eisenhower?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just because of the aliens.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They did
yes.
American Horror Stories that had.
Yes.
Oh my
If you
god.
notice when
That
you're
was double
talking, I
feature.
grab onto one idea and it's stuck in
Run.
my head. and
No,
I
I
forget
love
the
it.
rest of what you're saying.
No, that's fine. Paul does the same thing.
I'm what you call a bad guest.
No,
A
not
great
at all.
host, but a bad guest.
No, this is actually going fabulous.
Good.
Yes,
Good,
this
okay.
is great, and this is what I love about you guys' podcast is you guys talk about like such funny shit, and it's just so random and just off the cuff, and it's like things you can't make up. I think that's the best kind of comedy.
Yes.
You only know as a monster. It's all real.
Yeah, and we grew up in the Dean Martin and like that era of comedy and hosting things.
The
and
Rat
all that
Pack.
kind of-
Yes.
Yeah. We grew up in that, and that kind of humor always stuck to us. And so a lot of what we talk about and what we do, it's all sort of just based on, what do they call it? The roasts, the fry roasts.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I
Dean Martin.
love
I
the
love
roast.
those.
I didn't even
Yes.
watch that many, but I grew up with Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis being the funniest things in the world.
He'll let me take the remote, and I always put those
And that's
on.
part of
And
our
he's like, "What are we
humor.
doing?
Yeah.
What year is this?" And
You
the
have to
cat
be
wanted
quick
to
enough
watch
to
it.
do that.
Yeah. Now, one of the best roast jokes I ever saw was hate the man, hate the woman. It was the roast of Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
Okay.
They did a roast for him.
They did a
Jesus.
roast for him.
Of course.
I think it was after the White House.
For fuck's sake, they did Donald Trump. Of course they did.
Well, I mean,
Ooh.
and Maria was an actor.
Moving
first, so.
on.
Anyways, but Nancy comes out. And she comes
The
out
throat
like...
goat herself.
Huh?
The throat goat herself.
Yes.
Okay.
Leave that in.
Period. And Nancy Reagan
She
is the
comes
throat.
out.
Wait, is her last name Reagan? Is that Nancy
Yes.
Reagan?
Yeah,
Was that
Yeah,
right?
Nancy
Wavy,
Reagan.
yeah.
Okay, period.
She comes out and she goes, I didn't come out here to tell any jokes or to say anything funny. I just came out here to give a kiss to the man I love. And everyone applauds, and she starts walking, and Ronald Reagan stands up and opens his arm, and he has this big goofy smile on his face because, love him or hate him, they were in love.
Yeah.
And she gets up to him and she pushes him down in the chair, walks right past him to the guy sitting next to him, and it's this little guy, bald on top, Coke bottle glasses, grabs his face, gives him the biggest kiss on the cheek, goes, I love you, and just walks off the stage. And it's just the funniest, like, it
Brought the house down.
it did, because it was like, that is actually like one of the funniest jokes, and it was so simple.
So
and,
simple.
and from them, because they're so like wholesome and
Mm-hmm.
square and shit, that's really funny.
Just the sit down.
Face.
So, U.S. government. Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox was the first one to put out a press release, and he attributed the entire event to war nerves and paranoia. There was nothing in the skies. Somebody thought they saw a bird, and they all started firing. An hour later, Secretary of War Harry Stimson held another press conference and announced that 15 Japanese aircraft were in the skies over Los Angeles, or his exact words were, there were 15 aircraft in the skies over LA that did not belong to the United States.
So, could be unidentified.
Another U.S. government official said it was the Japanese in a commercial jet doing psychological warfare.
Shit.
If you look at their submarines, they just want to freak us
They
out.
just want to freak us out.
Army General George C. Marshall, however, disagreed with everyone else and said, it was George C. Marshall who said they were in a commercial plane and it was a psychological warfare attack. I can read.
Hey, you can cut anything out.
Right. That's the
Yeah,
beauty
yeah.
of recording and
The
editing.
best thing about video cutting out
Yes.
is your drinks just keep going down.
I just
Continuity.
love looking to the camera and speaking straight to the audience, especially when I do something
Keep
wrong.
forgetting. Just own it. Own your mistake.
Yeah.
We usually do. My
so
mom sure did. That's why I'm here.
Newspapers throughout the nation, however, suspected a cover-up. The Long Beach Independent noted, there is a mysterious reticence about the whole affair, and I should do this in the 1940s newspaper accent.
Absolutely.
The Long Beach
Radio, by
Independent
the way,
noted...
not newspaper. Come on.
Yes,
Newspaper
yes,
voice.
yes.
Come on. The newspaper voice.
The newspaper voice.
I'm not a good person.
The Long Beach Independent
Neither are we,
noted
it's fine.
You kind of slickered up.
their time as a joke.
Yeah.
There is a mysterious reticence about the whole affair, and it appears that some form of censorship is trying to halt discussion on the matter. There were 37 separate
No,
reports.
keep going.
Oh no, this
Keep
is
doing that voice though.
this is
It's a different quote.
Oh, I'm
Quotation.
sorry.
This isn't
I'm
a,
sorry.
this isn't a quote. This is my own words.
Okay.
There were 37 separate reports filed by military personnel from cadets to a colonel attesting to seeing something flying over Los Angeles that night. So eager to distract from the incident that government officials began to refer to the incident condescendingly as the Great LA Air Raid or the Battle of Los Angeles, as they cracked it up to be a military blunder.
Huh.
After the war, an official report was released saying a large silver weather balloon was released at 3 a.m. that morning and an over-anxious gunner fired on it, having mistaken it for enemy aircraft.
How long have weather balloons been around? Because I feel like they use that excuse so much.
Exactly.
Is a balloon shaped like a
And
fucking
it's a
saucer
little too
at all?
convenient, like...
Yeah, it's
Oh,
always a
thank
weather
you.
balloon.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Or
What?
swamp gas.
Well, remember that new one was a weather balloon that was over Lake Erie.
Was there?
They said that was a
Thank
weather
you.
balloon.
Was when it was
Yeah.
Chinese spies or whatever
Yeah.
recently?
They said it was a Chinese weather balloon spy thing. It's like,
How are they
Okay.
still pulling
Jesus
out
Christ,
these-
they're doing this in the 50s. How are we still calling it a weather balloon?
That's what I was gonna say. They're pulling out this 1940s ass excuse. Like, do you think we're stupid? You're just
Well, at
making fun of
least
us.
They got rid of swamp gas.
Yeah. Well, that's like in the
I
Midwest.
love
That's like in
that
the.
one.
It was
Maybe
good-
think of like it once.
But
Swamp
also,
cars.
Dr. Hynek, when
Yeah.
he said that, he said it very tongue-in-cheek, where he was like, maybe it's swamp gas.
Like, wink,
he was
okay.
making it up, and people
Yeah.
took it seriously.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Yeah,
Which, that's something that happens in UFO stories, is that you have very serious researchers.
It's the same thing as the Kennedy assassination, which back into the left. You just keep re-seeing the few things that have been told, or the small amount of information that you're dealing with. You're taking that little bit, and you're overanalyzing every aspect of it constantly.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what UFO stuff is. So it makes sense that if somebody says something stupid like, they're little green men. Well, they're not fucking green, they're gray.
Yes.
And,
First of all, they're gray.
yeah.
Literally called the Greys.
What are you
Yes.
doing? And it's all because it was always a tongue-in-cheek, like you said, thing that was said to, like, that some newspaper guy heard or something. You know?
Oh, and there's-
UFO stuff is it's ripe with that. It's insane.
Yes, it's something I mean, we call it the Battle of Los Angeles. That's the
Yeah.
official name for this incident.
Yeah.
But it was the government telling a reporter, "Oh, you
That
mean the
big
Battle of
battle
Los
they did?
Angeles? Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
they're firing on a weather balloon."
So we went from Japanese submarines shooting at a hotel. Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
To-
an oil field? They hit the hotel was collateral damage.
Okay.
Oh, they were shooting at the oil field.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They were trying to catch it on fire or something.
something.
That's fucking bananas, by the way.
They hit the pump's house. Pump house.
I don't know what you just said. It scared the fuck out of me, and I laughed at it because I was confused. And now, what are we talking about? What's the next?
Okay, what's the next one?
So, like,
I want to read this so bad because I like to read things, but
I
I
know.
feel
This
bad. I know it's
you're-
his side. His
Yes.
thing. I know I'm a guest. Sorry. I love DJ's Corner. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Not many people do. Thank you.
Wow, super fan.
I know a few people who've been in that corner. And they had to take a few pills after. They're up to burning.
So do you
They
guys,
did not have to take a pill. It was an injection. Get it right.
Wow.
So do you
Sounds
guys
more serious.
regret having us here yet, or am I?
No, I'm
do I
having
have
the
to
time
keep
of my
going?
life.
This is so fun.
Just-
I'm sure you guys
my
probably
life.
regret it.
No,
I love
fuck
this.
no. Are you kidding?
No, we were so fucking hungover when we first got
Oh,
here,
Lord.
and I said we have to make sure that we bring
Oh,
energy
you're bringing
and
it.
have fun.
You're bringing it.
And it
Yeah.
took us a little bit, but you know.
Now we're back. It's
We're
almost
back.
like wine is the cure for wine. Crazy.
Ooh, hair of the dog.
Yeah, yes.
It's called
Ooh.
dumping it down.
Dump
Just
them
Hair
dump
the
'em
dog
down.
niche.
Dump them down.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I'm good.
No, I'm cheersing you.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Please.
oh.
Hell yeah.
One of our
nice.
own.
Wow.
And that's why I
Official.
like you guys.
Okay.
You're my kind of person. Because
There's only a little bit left.
I'm some of that.
one thing
Oh,
about
fine.
me is I'm going to drink out of the bottle. And
Yes.
I stand that.
Yes.
That's iconic behavior.
I always know which class is mine because it's there.
Now, I will say this is the part where we start getting into UFOs.
Yay.
Wait,
So this only took 3 hours.
weren't the lights in the sky like UFOs?
Yes, they were, but like this is where we start acknowledging it's UFOs.
Okay.
Okay.
You gotta go along with the process, Paul.
Trust the process.
Always do.
I like that he didn't direct that at me because he's a good host too. You guys are great hosts.
You're trusting the process.
You're
Paul
trying to be
never
nice
trusts
to me.
my process.
That's okay.
Right.
People should not be nice to me. Leads to bad things.
Leads the socks go for the garters.
Despite everything the government said, which we already know you can't trust the government,
No.
the Los Angeles Times itself featured a piece of evidence of what probably really occurred that night. One of the photos featured on its front page was an image of 8 searchlights, all converging on one spot, on one bright reflective object.
I don't think I've ever seen that picture.
I'm not
Do you have? Oh my god.
Whoa, shit. That looks like it's from a
I've
movie.
seen that, yeah.
It's
I've
very
never seen
Metropolis.
that. That's awesome.
That was that night?
That was that night.
And all those...
So,
That
That's
was
a
made
goddamn
by a Disney
saucer.
executive.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Disney propaganda, and you need to wake
why I
up,
never-
sheeple.
I'm
That's why I
gonna
never
just
saw
prop
it,
it up
because
so
it
you
was
can see it.
copywritten.
Now I'm gonna say, if there was nothing flying over LA that night, how could 2, let alone 8 spotlights converge on one spot all at the same time?
Are those
Well-
those movie theater spotlights that would be there for a premiere?
Yeah,
Like those big
my
guys?
my
Kind
question,
of, but-
Mike, are you sure this isn't AI?
This is not AI.
It looks
'Cause-
like an old photo.
I've never seen spotlights be orchestrated that well. I mean, we talked about our spotlight UFO that we saw.
No, I will. Hang on, is this. Okay, so this is another angle.
Car coming at you.
This is
Well,
another
not-
angle, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Whoa. Why have I never seen that?
I've never seen these in my life.
This is less famous. I just
Okay.
happened to find this when I went
Oh.
to find the first picture.
What are the extra dots though?
So those are probably the artillery shells that are being fired.
Oh.
Whoa, so they're shining lights and shooting at the same time.
Yes.
I like that
Damn.
our first thought is let's kill it.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
movie.
That's a big joke yet of everybody.
The assumption was it was the Japanese, which
Okay.
isn't great.
Bad
Now,
people saying bad things.
many people
Yeah.
do think that this is evidence of a UFO or a UAP was the
You should
now.
have just drank it out of the bottle. Because I was
No.
living for that
You
shit.
could have.
I felt so gross.
I thought it was fucking
Well, there's
cool.
a whole nother bottle left, so.
Yes.
you know,
Where
There's
I come
time.
from, that's normal. Like, that's what we're doing in the mountains.
Yes.
Trundle Manor does this one thing where we pretend to be very proper. We know all the histories and we know how to entertain and how to be hosts, but we're drunken messes. So
I'll show up in sequence, but I'm gonna pee in public by the end of the night.
at some point,
And I'm
here for
that.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Let
talking
me
about the
read-
picture.
Let me read part of it. I would love to read.
Okay.
Tell me what to read. I want to read one little.
Read from this
The
bullet
black dot?
point to archives.
Okay.
I wish I could read.
Many are quick to try and debunk the photograph, as it is admittedly enhanced. However, while it is enhanced, there's no evidence it is doctored. Decades after the incident, investigators went to the LA Times to see the original photograph, only to find it was not part of the newspaper's archives. I'm done, I guess.
Fucking
For now.
Smithsonian.
to stop.
And
was
now
not
you
the best
realize.
reading.
That's okay.
Now everyone realizes that I write my notes out in little quotes.
Well, everyone does. That's how you take notes.
Yeah.
It's alright.
There's so many bullet points.
There's
Oh, did you lose your spot? I always lose my spot. One thing about me.
There.
Thank you.
I'm always losing my spot in my notes.
So yes. So the thing about yes, it is an enhanced photo, like you mentioned. Like spotlights do not appear in photos like that.
Yeah.
And later on, investigators did go back to find that photograph and say, like, okay, is there any doctoring? Because if you look at it,
that's Hollywood doctoring. That's why I was confused by it.
Well, it's we're gonna call it enhancement.
Okay, but I mean the sharp edges.
So it's like
the
an
sharp
Instagram
edges.
filter versus Photoshop.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and you can see some of the beams pass through the object, but some of them stop right on the object.
Huh.
That is the weirdest thing, is that the beams aren't going past it at all. You'd think that there'd be
they're
some
terminating
beam.
And so the thing is, when enhanced, it's not doctored. So when enhancing, the beam should all be at crosshairs up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went back to see, okay, is it doctored to show this one very bright spot, which I think looks like a reflective surface.
Yeah, it looks shiny as hell.
It looks like it has a nipple on the top of it.
It does. It kind of looks like a classic UFO shape.
Yeah.
The very round belly and then the little dome on top.
It's like a metal sweet potato.
Exactly.
You're just hungry.
That's so funny. I love that.
But if it was doctored, you would find all kinds of like weird, wonky things up here to cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the problem is, there is no original in the LA
There's
archives.
no negative.
There's no negative.
Shit. Well, then how do you prove any of
So
it?
everyone's like, okay, so it just wasn't taken by an LA Times reporter. And it's like, well, what if it was and somebody then took it out?
Yeah.
And this is where I bring up 2 memos written to high-ranking government officials, written to President Roosevelt. They described the recovery of 2 aircraft, one off the coast of California and one in the San Bernardino Mountains. They are described as being contrary to conventional aircraft and as unidentifiable. One of the memos, George C. Marshall, the Army Chief of Staff, stated, quote, "The mystery aircrafts are in fact not earthly and were, in all probability, of interplanetary design." There is a further unverified double top secret memo said to be written from FDR himself.
What does double top secret memo mean? Double top.
It said double top.
Well,
secret.
I know DJ's familiar
Or no,
with
it's
double
double
top.
What's a double top? Please
It
tell
said
me.
top secret.
Right. And you know what's also
I wasn't trying to be funny. I was very.
One time, Paul.
One time you did
You
double
get
top.
double penetrated at a family reunion, and all of a sudden...
No.
I told you that in confidence now.
That's a lot for a gay. I will.
What? Double top?
Well, at least you
A
got
lot
2
of hard
holes.
work.
They got 1. It's a whole fucking thing.
Well,
No,
that
we
sounds
have-
like a lot of work.
No, we have two. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways.
Okay. Yeah, no. Oh, what a goofball I am. I'm a silly Billy goofball.
Yes, you are.
And I've just showed my colors.
The memo was written to the Special Commission on Non-Terrestrial Science and Technology, asking them to look into the possibility of non-terrestrial life and how contact could be made to gather information which would help the U.S.'s study of atomic weaponry.
Well, they said that aliens started showing up when we did the first atomic bomb test.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was part of the
Yes.
script of Plan 9, too. They were mad that we were
Yeah.
doing nukes, and they were worried about us.
It was the whole thing that once a society becomes advanced enough to understand atomic technology, then you get inducted into the coalition of planets, or whatever they call it.
Intergalactic Coalition.
There we
Yeah.
go. Everybody has a different way to say that. But it was Einstein and the first atomic bomb.
What do you think their uniforms are
Or
like?
what's his name? The
Intergalactic
guy
Coalition
that they
uniforms.
designed-
I hope
Right?
they're blue, but that's just because blue's my favorite.
Hopefully they're assless.
Ooh. But aliens love butt
They have
stuff, so I bet
evolved
they are.
beyond the idea of clothing, and their dicks are just out.
Well, yeah.
Did you,
The joke was that
what
I
scary
just made
movie
it, like,
is it?
normal
But it's
and
like
hard.
it's the take on Signs, and at the end they have the It's like,
Like
oh.
E.T. finger kind of thing?
Well, it's...
You're talking about Scary Movie.
Scary
and
Movie.
they're peeing out of their finger.
Yeah, like we pee out of our fingertips.
I never saw
Scary
any of the
Movie 3.
movies.
Oh, they're problematic
classic.
now, but
sure.
they're funny.
They're funny. I mean, problematic now, whatever. But
Okay,
Well, not
so
whatever.
you're talking
Don't
about how,
cancel
like,
me.
the
Cut all that out. Cut all that out. Not allowed to say Scary Movie's funny. It's fine.
So we're talking about the first time, like, atomic bombs were used. Was the first time extraterrestrials made
That
contact.
makes a lot of sense.
Because they noticed a signature that comes from the atomic detonation of molecules.
Well, this very well could have been an extraterrestrial contact. And it was not the last time UFOs were spotted by military forces in the course of World War II.
No?
No.
Shut up.
Because
Don't say, DJ.
on December 14th, 1944, Supreme Allied Commander, General, and future President Dwight D. Eisenhower released a statement to the press about strange orbs of light which flew around and interacted with military aircraft, which would soon be called...
Foo Fighters!
Yes.
Yeah, there they are. There's the Foo Fighters.
Period.
Don't give a shit about the band, but I like that there's a term for it.
Pilots would recount how the orbs would zig and zag around them and were impossible to shake off or outrun. Multiple pilots reported these objects getting close to their planes, which would then begin to experience sudden and unexplainable mechanical failures as the object would shoot up into the atmosphere out of sight. Future Senator Ted Stevens recounted about his experience as a World War II pilot. Quote, "I was flying and there was an object next to me. I couldn't get rid of it. I slowed up. It was there. I sped up. It was there. I would dive. It would be there. I called. Nothing on radar."
Nice.
Thank you.
Well done.
And you know what's funny too? Is that's the same voice DJ uses in bed.
I have yet to know that.
Well, for a good $2, you can find out yourself.
Jesus
wow.
Christ!
Please go follow my OnlyFans at the real DJ. No, there's no.
What the fuck
OnlyFans.
just happened? You just wore your friend out to me? For $2?
Wow, deep
Hey.
respect.
Yes.
We're all about the profit.
Cut it out!
We know what we're selling and we know what it's worth.
Oh no, don't sell yourself
I'm just
short.
kidding.
I know.
He's worth at least $5. That's where they came up with the $5 footlong.
Oh wow.
Jesus Christ.
All right, folks, we're nearly at
Keep
the
going,
end.
we're so close.
If I can get
Firstly, as we mentioned above, it seemed FDR and the government was eager to try and make contact.
Well, can I, I'll let you read
I'm sorry,
this.
I couldn't.
Let me do the...
I'm terrible.
The
at what
transition.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're probably asking, why would the U.S. government go to such lengths to cover up the incident?
Sorry. Firstly, as we mentioned above, it seemed FDR and the government was eager to try and make contact or requisition any shot-down alien aircraft to aid them in developing the U.S. military's technology and weaponry. Took it a step up on the Axis powers, and immediately following the end of the war in 1945, did hostiles develop... This sentence makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
That wasn't just me, right?
No. I self-edit as I read out loud.
Fucking jerk.
this
Yeah,
too.
you put me under the bus. No, I'm just do your thing. I'm sorry.
Which, you believe it or not, I'm writing a novel.
Yes.
Well, you can edit that.
Yeah.
You'll do better.
We'll edit in post.
You'll do better.
You know,
Yes.
when you do
Yes.
it.
When I have an editor.
his novel is really interesting, actually. It's like
What's
50
that?
Shades of Grey, but bestiality. It's called 50 Shades of Nay.
You've been holding on to that one.
How long?
I loved it.
How long have you
Love
been
it.
sitting on top of that?
For a while. Come see us live. There's more shit like that.
Keep it in.
Oh my
Keep
that
it
was-
in.
That one in, that was
You
good.
must keep that in.
That will be staying in.
Wow, horse
Um,
porn, no.
But yes, as Mr. Arms so brilliantly read off of my thing into my own stupidity.
I started going cross-eyed with that sentence. It stressed me out.
That's
I think I
that's
had
one.
around cardiac arrest.
That
It's
is
fun.
that is one
We're having
run-on
fun.
sentence. But yes, so yeah, I mean, winning the war and then the Cold War happened.
Secondly, the public reaction.
Oh no,
to
I
the
want to read
October-
this part.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Let me read some shit.
I want to read
No, I
this
just
one.
want to keep going.
I know this is my part.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay. Now, the second reason is the public the
You want me to read it?
No.
No.
Let me read it silently first to make sure it makes sense.
I do.
Your
I'm just
ceiling
an
looks
asshole.
like cake frosting and it's well distracted.
I'm what you
Yeah,
call it.
I don't like
Post-it.
it.
I don't know how to turn that shit
It's
off.
okay.
Yeah,
Neither
it's
do
tough,
I.
it's tough.
Secondly, the public reaction to the October 30th, 1938 CBS radio broadcast of The War of the Worlds by Orson Welles
Yay.
was still clear in the minds of U.S. government officials. For anyone who does not know, the radio drama was based on H.G. Wells, no relation to Orson, who performed it. His novel was presented in the style of breaking news bulletins documenting a fictional Martian invasion and the subsequent war. While the program did begin with a disclaimer about the fictional nature of the content, it is believed that many listeners tuned into the program after the disclaimer had been read. Wells's performance was so vivid and the production was so good that chaos ensued as the panicked public began frantically...
Hold on.
As the
Hold on. Let's do it
Panic at
again.
the Disco?
Let's do it again. You got this.
The Planet Public.
Wells's performance was so vivid and the production was so
fuck
good...
up this time. You're in trouble.
I didn't need to fuck up. You interrupted me.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
It's fine.
I'm a bad person. I'm what you call a bad person.
Wells's performance was so vivid and the production was so good that chaos ensued as a public...
I
It
didn't
doesn't
do a fucking... Don't look at me. I didn't do a fucking
know what
thing.
you're
The
saying.
public was
It
panicked.
was so nice though.
The public was panicked. They began calling the military. They began calling the police. They formed mobs to take on the Martians
What was
because
the
America...
timeline between those two? Between that happening and
38.
that
This is
UFO.
45.
42. So
42.
this is October 38. So this is 3 years and some months.
That's all.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Recent
Yeah,
memory.
wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Very recent memory. And not only were they doing mobs, were they calling the police, but people actually killed
I
themselves.
remember a farmer
Poor
having a
bananas.
shotgun and didn't he shoot someone or something?
I mean, people were killing other people because they thought they might be Martians in disguise.
So
People were jumping out of windows.
If I may, is this why they keep covering up alien stuff? Because they had one radio broadcast and people went
Did
fucking
you watch
nutballs?
Men in
Yeah.
Black at all?
Yes, but they really think we're people. Yeah, because
There's
it's gonna
that.
threaten
There's that
Christianity.
whole,
That's why people
no,
lose
there's
their
that whole
fucking
scene.
minds.
They said that people are smart, but humanity is dumb, panicky animals.
Yes.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
I mean, but
Because as a whole, we're gonna have a hard time
It's
if we
true.
are told that we're not the only thing in this universe.
Intelligent.
oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah,
It's
people are
really-
gonna
Sorry,
think that,
you're
yeah.
not the
Deep
only
down
one.
scary.
Whoa.
If I told you guys, hey, there's actual aliens. I'm from the government. Check it out.
Yes,
You'd
where
understand.
are
I
they?
think-
What are they wearing?
I think
Can I be their
now-
goddamn friend?
Yes, exactly.
The public is more receptive.
You're right.
In 1938.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah, farmers.
So
I think that when they did the Mars Attacks movie, they did it right because they did a lot of it was in the rural areas where those people still are
It's always
sort of
rural.
a little messed up. And then in Las Vegas, where they're like, I
And
don't give a
it-
shit. Is this fake, right? Because there's a giant.
Everyone-
Now there's a giant globe.
Yeah.
With an
Which is
eyeball
also
looking at
really
me. You know what I mean?
Las Vegas.
let me
is-
read
it's
my
a
final
planet.
point and
Sorry,
then
darling.
let's discuss the rurality of
So
it all.
close. So close.
Today, the Battle of Los Angeles is a little known and little acknowledged event in World War II history. A comic footnote for historians. But there are many out there who believe this was one of the first significant instances of extraterrestrial contact. So it should be noted that many...
You have to read that.
You will.
Okay.
That's the very end.
I'm sorry.
That's the very
I'm
end.
sorry.
It should be noted that a lot of UFO and ET
Yeah.
contact stories do happen in rural areas. So that does say something about they don't want to talk to the governments. They don't want to talk to the smartest in the land. They want to talk to the normal
Wow,
people.
they want your everyman. That's
Yes.
interesting.
There's a lot of theories about why that happens, and a lot of the ones that I ended up stumbling across were that's the people looking up into the skies more because they're bored. Humanity's boredom has changed how the world has been evolving.
Boredom is so important for creativity.
The fact that people like us are making podcasts and everyone, like, I listen to a lot of podcasts just to drive out the voices in my head.
Same.
Yes.
Can't be alone with
Exactly.
his own thoughts.
Those voices used to make us create stuff. And without that boredom and those voices, it's you're missing a lot.
Yes.
So a lot of the people in the country who weren't like just jammed into a city where they're busy with their city little things, you know, they're bored a lot more.
Yes.
So
Can
they're
I
seeing a lot.
Just say I love this analogy because I am somebody who creates. Like I love writing.
Yeah.
Writing stories. And when you said like, oh, to get the voices of their head, and then I started thinking like, well, if we all have voices in our heads, not all of us can create them. And I thought, I must have the same voice in my head as Michelangelo.
Yes.
Or very similar when I was like, oh, and like, it was such an ego rush.
It is an ego rush, but if you can handle the voices in your head, then you can be a creator much akin to the greats.
Yes.
Well, everybody said, how can they have made the pyramids or this stuff or any of this stuff? Shut up. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm saying they were able to do that stuff because there was nothing else to do.
Yes.
They were bored.
They made the Moais. They made the Moais because there was a bunch of people bored out of their fucking minds.
Oh, yeah, Easter Island, yeah.
Nothing else to do. They didn't have computers or Netflix or any of that
They
stuff.
had
so they
no
needed
pornography, no
Yes.
television, no cocktail bar. What do? You sculpt things out of a fucking rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they did form pornography.
Of course. Well, it's never not
Pompeii.
there.
There's pornography in
My
Pompeii.
favorite
cool as
one
fuck.
is the Venus of
Willendorf.
Willendorf.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She thick?
It's I could jerk off to that. Honestly,
Um,
not enough.
I do bring
get
up the
it.
pyramids, and we're talking about UFOs. They're ancient aliens.
Ancient astronaut
No.
theorists believe.
His hair just kept
Sorry.
getting higher because they were trying to pull him up.
Now,
That's fucking
one thing
bad.
I want to bring up about ancient aliens, and this is something I never really subscribed to the ancient aliens things, like the aliens built the pyramids.
It's
a lot.
interesting, but
I never subscribed to it, and I could never understand why. And then I heard somebody else lecture about it, and they said the idea that ancient peoples of color needed interplanetary interference to create
Calling them stupid.
monuments.
that's racist as fuck to think about. Interesting.
And also the thing is, and I subscribe to, like, there's some great cosmic oneness somewhere. Because, I mean, you have multiple flood stories.
Because the
you
human
have
mind
pyramids.
can't comprehend
Flood
nothing.
Exactly. But you have multiple flood stories. You have pyramids
And they came
in
from all
Egypt.
over the place, right?
You have them in
all those
China.
flood stories, yeah.
hmm You have them in South America.
Every part of the world, yeah.
You have stories of flying serpents or dragons.
Can I stop at the flood story thing and
Yes.
ask you a question, Matt, if you're thinking about that? The flood stories, to me, were always, okay, they might have just been in a Sahara that ended up with older Dryas or whatever the hell you call it. They can't comprehend what the actual world is, how big the world. We're sort of like the first generation of human beings that can fully comprehend the vastness of what the world actually
Small
is.
town people thought their town was the entire world.
Yes.
Yeah, but like imagine thinking, Jesus is the Messiah, and you only know about this tiny desert area. That's all you know.
Yeah.
And we can't comprehend that the same way we cannot comprehend boredom. Because we don't have it anymore. Boredom doesn't exist in the civilized world. It's gone.
Maybe
It
that's
is
how
one.
we think about aliens too. We can't imagine there's something beyond what we know because all we know is what we know.
Right. Like we are stuck in this general concept of what we are, and we're now taking any amount of boredom that we have and saying, what else is there?
Yeah.
Like we can't be
It could
the only
be.
bored creatures in the world, right? You know.
You hope not.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just started listening to. Have you guys ever listened to the Y-Files?
Yes.
No.
We love
Actually,
the Wi-Files.
Wonderful.
I did listen for this.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Nice. They just did one on the mantis people that like appear when they want to, but they're
kept saying
normally
mantis
invisible. I'm like,
entity, and it made me lose my mind.
honestly, like there's a
Maybe
lot
I'm
that I
the
try to
mantis
believe.
entity
Yeah,
Like
but-
sometimes I hear that stuff I'm like, shut up.
Well, now
You're driving me
that we have gone so deep,
Yeah.
I want to bring us back. And I
Sure.
have one final question to close out this episode. It's a very serious, very intellectual
It took
question.
everything I had not to talk over you when you breathed in.
No, wait, that was a good
Thank
moment. That was
you.
a good moment. We all experienced together.
Thank you. Because my very serious, my very intellectual, thinky person
Yeah.
question is, smash or pass, E.T.?
Oh, I am passing that wrinkly sack of
man.
garbage. I'm sorry. He looks like if you took an old lady's vagina and stretched it out. It's just gross.
I'm sorry. I like.
And I don't even
gorgeous-
like penis, you know.
It doesn't even. Not
It
even.
looks like a
any
penis, I
any
guess.
genital. It's just stretched genital material.
Right?
That part of the flesh.
Like dark, gross.
I like pointy ghouls. And that's the opposite of that. Also, as a kid with cancer, E.T. had cancer. Why did they put that in the film? It was so sad.
Wait, E.T. had
White.
cancer? What
That's why
part
he
of
turned white.
Oh!
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
why he
had him like
turned super
in
weird.
a tent with like medical professionals, and I don't know. I saw what
Sometimes I
I
forget about that. I think about that as like a totally separate movie. Because it felt so far removed from the
I
actual
have the
story,
taste of
didn't
a
it?
90-year-old
Yes.
person. I saw the older films first, so I saw E.T. as an adult first when I was super hammered, and
Mm-hmm.
they gave him cancer. It was like really fucking depressing. All that heartstring stuff, all that. What's the director? The one that
Steven
Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Fucking Spielberg, get
What's
me.
that director? Are you fucking kidding me, wife? movie queen of the ages.
I don't
you
know
forgot
the big
Steven
ones.
Spielberg's fucking
I know
name.
the little ones.
I goddamn love you, but Jesus goddamn fucking
Got
Christ. Yeah, she got me. She got me.
All right,
Oh
sorry.
my god.
Pass.
Pass.
I am also passing on E.T. I once heard Spielberg joke that it was brown Play-Doh and chicken wire, and
Huh. I don't want to fuck that.
no.
Have you ever run your dick across chicken wire?
No.
Yeah.
Don't.
Don't do it.
That's just a Tuesday at Trundle Manor.
Thank you so much for listening.
Turn that into a meme at this point. If
isolate
you
that
ever
one.
run your dick across chicken wire, it's very fun. Thank you guys for having us. Hold on, my wife has nothing. I have to give her a little bit
I
more.
can't toast it.
There's wine.
Ooh.
There's
Fine,
there's
fine.
still some wine.
But I want to thank you guys for having us. Is this the end?
This is the end.
This is the end.
And don't worry, we have a lot of things to promote and shout out,
Nice.
including
Well,
you guys.
Yes.
I love you so much for
Oh,
having
Yes,
us.
we love you
I
too.
hope that
Oh
we
my
weren't
God.
too fucking annoying.
No, this was amazing.
No, this was great.
Wonderful.
So first of all,
You didn't drink.
oh.
He's still got some. Oh.
Well, no, after you cheers, you have to drink.
So first of all, y'all, make sure you go visit Trundle Manor. You can schedule an appointment with Guy
Thank
by going to their website. You can give them a good old text, the numbers on the website,
We exist.
and you can schedule a tour of Trundle Manor yourself. See what's going on there. It's amazing. I love it there. Also, go ahead and listen to Trundlecast, one of my
Oh, yeah.
very favorite podcasts. They're so funny over there. If
No,
you-
we do listen.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a live show coming up, don't we?
We do have a live show
Can't wait
coming.
to see it. Hey, you might
I
see
wanna
us
go.
at the live fest.
Yes.
We will
we
try
would
not to
love
interact
that.
with the audience.
So our next live show
What
is...
if I introduced you guys and then shut the fuck up after that?
Do you think
Would
you
that be
can?
fun?
Ooh.
You do have like a great, like you just have like an announcer voice, so we might have to talk to Jeff.
It might
about
cost you a couple McChickens, but I think we could make it happen.
that.
I pay to announce
or-
you? Listen
if-
here. I only have one gun on me and one knife. I can't
Or-
handle the two.
or you know what? We
Locked and loaded.
if you were at our live show or you watched it, you know there was a fog machine, and we had to ask a very reluctant friend to work the fog machine. So
I can work the fog machine.
You might be
Yes.
enlisted to work the fog
Foggy
machine.
Igor over here.
I've run across a lot of fog machines in my time, and I would love to be a part of that.
Yes. But
Yeah.
yes, our next live show we are doing Gettysburg Ghosts, and this time it is
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg.
They pronounce it.
No, they don't. No one does.
They might.
I
didn't-
remember hearing that somewhere. I don't know.
I was there for an entire 2 days and I didn't speak to a single local.
That's
High
not
five,
true.
everyone. Yes.
Oh.
Xenophobia. Anyways, if you saw our last live show, this one has twice the number of spooks because Paul and I went there and we investigated. We're going to present our very own evidence there. Please go to the link in our bio to get your tickets. If you're not in Pittsburgh and you can't come in person, don't worry. There is also a special online exclusive. If you are in person, though, and you want to drink with us, please do the additional BYOB add-on so that you can bring your own booze and drink with us.
Damn right.
Yes, and don't forget, if you get that online ticket, you can watch it up to a week after the show. So if you can't watch it that night, you have to link up to a week so you can watch it up to a week
I can
after
pass
the
out
show.
several times.
Yes.
And keep watching.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And definitely drink with them because then they have to put up with you.
They're
It's
fun
very
to drink
fun.
with.
As I said last time, the more you drink, the prettier I get, the funnier Paul gets.
Exactly.
So
And all-
hurtful.
and
I
actually-
get your concepts.
Thank you. I mean, it's
good.
funny you said that because people actually have messaged us and said, I fall asleep listening to your podcast.
Aww.
And like a good way.
You have very nice voices.
Thank
It's-
you.
It's wonderfully
Would you like to-
lulling voices.
Would you like to shout out your socials? I know we shouted you out some.
We
but-
do everything that we do is just look up Trundle Manor anywhere. We have a Instagram that she runs. We have a Facebook that I don't know if we do anything with. We have
It's mostly
YouTube
those.
that I think I've taken down most of the videos because they're weird. But if you just look up Trundle Manor everywhere, that's what we do.
At Trundle Manor.
It's a very simple name that worked out well.
Yes.
I tried to explain what the Trundle Manor name came from. May I say this?
Please.
Yeah.
The Trundle Manor name came from the very first Halloween that I had at the house, where I was Trundle Graves Funeral Parlor and Taxidermy Service.
Oh.
I made a sign that was so real and so proper that the code enforcement officer told me to take it down, and you're not allowed to have a funeral parlor that close to homes. And I'm like, dude, it was a Halloween sign.
Such a
Oh.
That-
What are you doing?
That is a
Decorating
great.
skills.
That's great.
But since then, the Trundle name always kind of stuck with it. And I like to think of it as Trundle Manor is a hidden comfort, like a trundle bed. A trundle
Yes.
bed, which is hidden underneath
I
a normal
love that.
bed.
No,
Wow.
yes.
It's a hidden comfort that a lot of people don't get the pleasure of. But if you're a good friend, then you'll understand and you'll have a nice time.
No, I love that.
It's very
When you're
nice.
free.
Period. I love that.
Yeah.
Paul, what are your socials?
You can follow me at my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, PAULEMBER. And as usual, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
And if you'd like to follow me, please do so at The Real Teach Powers on both TikTok and Instagram. And until next time, folks, keep your grips tight.
And your corks loose. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
And Tissa.
Fucking drink it. Gonna kill you.
Someone's impatient.
Oh no! Bastard!
Oh, damn.
Oh, I felt that one in my trundle.
Woo.